All right, guys, coming at you with another one. I am your host, Shabar Judah Israel, that will be bringing forth this wonderful lesson on tonight. You guys should already know about the movement, Solid Foundation Israelite Academy. All right, support the movement. Solid Foundation Israelite Academy. Check me out on YouTube. Just type in Solid Foundation Israelite Academy, or you can type in Shabar Israel. That's Shabarisrael on YouTube. Or you can just type in Solid Foundation. And please like, comment, and subscribe, brothers and sisters. You can get at me on Twitter as well. Follow me on Twitter. That's Shabar Israel. And last but not least, you can get at me on Facebook, Shabar Israel. All right, so what's the topic of discussion for tonight? Brothers and sisters, I'm going to be explaining how the anus is created. All right, how the anus, or what you may call the ass, or what you may call the butthole. I'm going to be explaining how that is created, because each and every one of us, we have one. All right, we all have what you call an anus, a butthole. All right, whether it's man, or whether it's woman, whether it's boy, whether it's girl, and also the animal kingdom. So we all have that. And I'm going to explain on tonight how the anus is created. All right. So pay close attention. You can take notes if you will. Get your composition book and a pencil to take notes. That if you would like. Brothers and sisters, we see Jerry Nixon is watching. So peace and much love to you, my sister, Jerry Nixon. Thank you for your time. Hope all is well with family and friends. Peace and love and wisdom. And we look for many more brothers and sisters to come on into the room so I can get started with the lesson. All right. So this lesson, you won't be needing the Bible, because most lessons that I bring forth includes a Bible. But you won't need a Bible for this lesson. Just listen up. You can take notes. All right. Now, I'm always meditating, right? Sometimes I would just isolate myself and I would go off and I would meditate. You know what I'm saying? Just meditate, because when you're meditating, basically you're letting the universe speak to you. Meditation is on a whole nother level, and it's far from praying. And see, when you pray, you basically are sending up petitions to the universal creator. Basically, you're speaking to the universal creator. But when you meditate, you let the universal creator speak to you. And so I've been doing that on a regular, you know what I'm saying? And I just been receiving etheric knowledge, man. And I know that no man on this face of this earth, no man on the face of this earth can give me this etheric knowledge. It's like I'm receiving light codes, man. You know what I'm saying? Trying to tap into the oneness. I'm trying to elevate, trying to awaken that DNA. You know how it is for the conscious brothers and the conscious sisters out there. That's what I've been doing lately, man. So it's been a wonderful journey, especially in my 30s. You know what I'm saying? I am 34 years old, and it's been like very, very remarkable for me, because it's like the golden age stage for me. Like these 30s, man, I've been, just coming into the oneness. But anyways, I'm rambling right now, so let me get into the lesson. So Jerry Nixon, I'm going to explain how the anus is created. So here we go. I will also be using literature and diagrams to make the teaching more clear. Okay, so let's get into it. Now, I've been telling you guys about my book. I've been telling you guys about this book for the longest that I've been writing. I've been writing this book, and it's called The Spiritual Wisdom of Nobility, the Godhood Within. The book is still in the making, so I'm not completed with the book, but however, I'm not far from the completion of the book. Once again, here's the book. It's just a black booklet. If you look closely, it says the spiritual wisdom of nobility, the godhood within. As you can see right there, it says Allah in the form of the physical. Allah is arm, leg, arm, head. Allah, you know what I'm saying, which is the almighty creator, the creator of the universe. Allah just simply means power. All right, here's the book on the side. It says, I don't know if you guys can see it. Don't pay the background no attention. But on the side, it says the spiritual wisdom of nobility. You see, the spiritual wisdom of nobility. This is the booklet I've been working on for some time now. And guys, hopefully it will be completed soon. And on one of these pages in this book, I talk about what I'm about to explain now, how the anus is created. So let's go ahead and go into that. All right, so here we go. You see in the booklet, right here, it says how the anus. Now the anus is what you call the butthole, or some may call the asshole. I'm going to break down how the anus, which is the butthole, is created. And as you can see, this diagram that I drawed up. Now, when we go over to the male. This is the male, the man. All right. Now, we know that the man carries the sperm cell, right? So we know that the man carries the sperm cell. The woman do not carry seed. The female do not carry seed. The man carries what you call the sperm cell, or some may call semen, or some may call cum. All right, that's what a man carries. He carries the seed, the sperm cell. So let me pull up this diagram. All right, and I'm going to show you something, guys. The sperm cell. So you see that? Hopefully you can see it. Now the brain and the spinal cord, you see the brain and the spinal cord and the sperm cell, they are a lot similar. You see that? They are very similar because, truth be told, guys, you see it? Your brain and your spinal column and the body is nothing but the sperm cell of your father. It's nothing but developed sperm of your father that impregnated your mother. Once again, your brain, along with your spinal column, the 33 vertebrae, is nothing but the sperm cell of your father, which fertilized the egg cell of your mother. So let's go back to the diagram. As you can see, the brain and spinal cord and the sperm cell is just showing you how they are similar. Here's the sperm cell of the male, what you call sperm cum. There's the sperm cell. And as you can see right here, there's the brain and the stem, the brain and the vertebrae, the brain and the spinal column. And you can see they are exactly the same in comparison. They are very similar because that's all the brain along with the spinal column is nothing but the sperm cell, the head of the sperm and the tail. That's all it is. I just wanted you guys to see it. So guys, if you are here on planet Earth, that means you have a brain along with the brain stem. You cannot exist on planet Earth and not have a brain and spinal column. You know why? Because you cannot be here without the procreation of the sperm cell fertilizing the egg cell of your mother. This is why each and every one of us on this planet Earth, this is exactly why we carry the brain along with the brain stem, because that is actually the sperm cell of your father. All right. That's all. The brain and the spinal column is nothing but developed sperm. I'm going to explain it. So let's go back into the book. All right, as you can see. Now, you see this male right here? See this guy? I'm going to show you the similarities. So you see the brain and stem. Here's the brain, which is the head. The brain is the head. The spinal column is the tail. Then when you go to the sperm cell, here's the head of the sperm cell along with the tail. And then even when you talk about the male penis, here's the head of the penis and here's the shaft. So you can see similarities of all these in common. The brain and stem has a head and tail. The sperm cell has a head and a tail. And the male phallus, the penis, has a head and a tail, which is the shaft. So you can see all the similarities, guys. Okay? Because as within and so without. As within, so without. So let's continue on how the anus is created. And by the way, guys, this is never heard before information. This is never heard before information, guys. This information I received through the universe. This information is for the chosen ones. So this is never heard before information. At least that I know of. No, I never heard a guru or a yogi, master teacher, anyone talking about this. But let's continue on with how the anus is created. Because I told you I'm going to explain how your butthole is created. So let's go back into the diagram. Now, you have this process called fertilization. So let me break down fertilization. All right. So fertilization, guys, as you can see, this is fertilization. This is when the man and the woman, they sexually procreate. And the male sperm cell, the man, what he would do, he would ejaculate inside the woman's vagina. And the sperm cell would travel up in the vaginal canal, past the cervix, to the uterus, so on to the fallopian tubes, until the sperm cell reaches the egg and the ovaries of the woman. Now, when the sperm cell of the male, when that sperm cell reaches the egg in the woman's ovaries, that sperm cell creates an incision. It creates an opening. It creates an opening. Once that sperm cell encounters the egg of the female, it creates an opening because that sperm cell has to get into that egg, because that's called fertilization. All right, or what you may call spermatozoa. So when that sperm cell encounters that egg cell of that woman, that sperm cell has to puncture that egg cell to get inside of it, All right. So as you can see, you see how the sperm cell is puncturing the egg cell to get inside of it. Now, this hole that the sperm cell creates, that's actually the anus of the male and female and the boy and girl. Okay? That's exactly what that is. That creates the anus. All right? Let me bring it up. Let's see. Okay? That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. So, yeah. I'm looking for a diagram right quick. Wait a minute. I'm looking for a diagram. All right. Thank you for your time, Jerry Nixon. And many more to follow. All right. So, all right. Now, you see here, guys. You see right there. It says the anus. Now, what creates the anus, which is the butthole, is that sperm cell that punctures the egg cell of the woman. I want you guys to see it once again. So when that sperm cell punctures the egg cell of that woman, it creates the anal opening. And every one of us, whether we man, whether we female, boy, girl, we have an anus. So that is just that literal proof to show you that this is exactly how the sperm cell enters into the egg cell of the woman. Once that sperm cell punctures that egg cell, it creates that anal opening, the butthole. Now, watch this. Let's go a little bit further. Okay, so you see here, because this is the base of the spine. Let me bring up another diagram. The base of the spine is what you call the coccus. The cox, if I'm saying that correctly. The cox is right like a couple inches away from the anus. The cox is a couple inches away from the anus because this is just the diagram of the spinal cord, you see? So up here you have the cervical, then you have the thoracic, if I'm saying that correctly, then the lumbar, and then the sacrum, and then the cox, which the cox is located right around the region of the anus. So that proves that the spinal column is nothing but the sperm cell of your father that punctured the egg cell of your mother, which is the body. Okay. So this is how the brain, along with the spinal column, this is how that gets into the egg cell, which is the body of a woman, because it comes through, it punctured the body, which is the egg cell of a woman. And it created that anal opening. The sperm cell of the man created that anal opening to get into that egg cell, which is the body. You see, guys? Let me show you more. Let's see. All right. See, so the anus of an individual is nothing but that puncture mark that the sperm cell of the male created while that sperm cell was puncturing the egg cell of the woman. Once again. So that egg cell that was punctured by that sperm cell to go in there, this what created the anus or the butthole of the individual, man, woman, and child. See that? This is never heard before information, guys. All right? This is coming from my book, How the Anus is Created. So this is coming from my book, guys. Never heard before information. So Jerry Nixon and Matthew Dot Anderson, bless all you guys, because this information is not out here. So if you hear anybody else talking about it, you already know they don't stole my material and ran with it. All right? Which I really don't care. But I want to get the credit for something, you know what I'm saying? So that's why the booklet that I'm working on has not been totally copyrighted yet. But if somebody's sharing this information, you know where they get it from. All right? But anyways, how the anus is created. The anus right here is created through fertilization. The anus of the man, or rather it's a woman, is the opening created from the tearing of the sperm cell when it enters the egg of a woman. See, the sperm cell tears the egg cell. In order to enter the egg cell, the sperm cell got to tear into that egg cell of that woman. When that sperm cell tears into that egg cell, it creates that opening, which is the anus. You see? So yes, guys, it's real, man. I told you guys. Let's continue on. Turn to the next page in the book. The female egg cell is really the human body. The female egg cell is really the human body. So when you look at the human body, you know what I'm saying? As far as the flesh, the blood, the bones, the tissue, the muscles, that is nothing but the egg cell. That's nothing but developed egg cell of a woman. the whole entire physical, the whole entire body, the whole entire frame is nothing but developed egg cell of the woman. So the female egg cell is nothing but the human body. But what about the sperm cell? The sperm cell punctures the egg cell, creates the anal opening. Once the sperm cell punctures the egg cell of the woman, the sperm cell creates the puncture opening and it makes the anus. And that hole is on you for life until you die. That's why everybody has what you call the anus, because that proves, the back door proves that's the very hole that the sperm cell of your father punctured in terms of your mother's egg cell. All right. And then you see, because the spiritual body, which is the energy, comes from the male. You see? So basically, the sperm is kind of like in reference to the spirit. Because the spiritual body, the energy, the sperm, which is in reference to the spirit, that comes from man. So when the spirit actually gets a body, you ever heard like in Judeo-Christian, the Judeo-Christian concept, they would say the spirit gets a body, or God assigns the spirit a body. But that's actually the sperm cell of your father going into the egg cell of your mother. See, the spirit gets a body when the sperm cell goes into the egg cell of the woman. That's when the spirit gets a body. You feel me? So when the sperm cell goes into the egg cell of a woman, that's the spirit, which in reference to the man's sperm, that's the spirit which gets the body, which is the egg cell. And then step 2, fertilization over time starts the process. The sperm and egg develops over time in terms of conception. Now you see the greenery right here? That's still the sperm cell of the male. Because remember the sperm cell, it punctured the egg cell, created that anal opening. That's the anus. It punches the egg cell, went into the egg cell. And that sperm, which is that egg cell, which is the body, that sperm over time starts to develop. So guys, once the sperm of the man enters the egg cell of a woman, over time it develops a brain and a spinal cord. Once the sperm cell of a man enters the egg cell of a woman, it starts to develop a brain and a spinal cord, because the egg cell of a woman, it incubates the sperm cell of the male. Okay? So once that sperm cell of the male goes into that egg is like an incubator. And when that sperm goes into that egg incubates and develops that sperm cell into a brain and a spinal column. So all you looking at male sperm is nothing but a brain and a spinal column. The head of the sperm cell and the tail of the sperm cell is nothing but the brain and the spinal cord, which is, here's the first form. Basically, before the brain and the spinal cord, this how it looks. Before the actual brain and spinal cord, because this is the first stage of the brain and spinal cord. And once the sperm cell goes into the egg, it incubates the semen, and the semen develops into the brain and spinal. You see? Let me show you guys. See? So once that sperm goes into the egg cell of that woman, it don't no longer look like sperm anymore. It looks more like this, because the egg cell of the woman, it develops that sperm cell, turning that sperm cell into a brain and a spinal column, which is the central nervous system. You see, so when you're looking at the brain along with the spinal column, all you're doing is looking at the sperm cell of a man. That's what I'm trying to tell you. This is nothing but the sperm cell of a man, which got a body over time. You see? Once again, the sperm cell of a man goes into the egg cell of a woman. The egg cell of the woman represents the body of us. The sperm cell of a man is in reference to his energy of his spirit. So once the spirit gets a body, that's the sperm cell of a man going into the egg cell of a woman. Once the sperm goes into the egg cell incubates the sperm, and it develops the brain along with the spinal column. You see, guys? So over time, as time process, in terms of woman conception, the woman is the incubator. She's like the egg cell. The woman carries the egg, which incubates the sperm cell to develop a brain and spinal cord. You see the similarities? That's why I say the similarities. So your butthole or your booty hole, that's the very hole that the sperm cell punctured of the egg cell of your mother. You're not going to hear this information nowhere else. I'm telling you, this information is not out here. So your butthole, because we all have an asshole, and your butthole is the very hole that the sperm cell of your father created when it punctured the egg cell of your mother. Facts. So when your father's sperm cell punctured the egg cell of your mother, it created the anus, the booty hole. And you see, and this is exactly why the end of the spinal column, which is the coccus, is right by the booty hole. Because this is how the spinal column in the brain gets into the body, which is the egg cell. So if you're wondering how did your brain and your spinal column, if you're wondering how did it get into the body, it got into the body through the anus. And what created the anal opening? When the sperm cell punches the egg cell. You see? Never heard before information. Now, I'm going to say this and I'm going to close out. We thank you, Jessica, Matt B, Matthew, Dot Anderson, and Jerry Nixon. I'm going to say this and I'm going to close out. Okay? Now, we know that eventually we all must come to a declining point. Meaning that we all must leave. We all must check out at some point. We all must check out in terms of dying. We all must leave. Now, when you die, I'm going to explain this because this never heard before information. I don't have time to waste with you guys. This is for the chosen ones. This is for the ones that's trying to tap into the oneness, the ones that's trying to rise, elevate, and come into the oneness, the universal consciousness. This is only for the chosen ones. I don't have time for the bots. I don't have time for the bots, man. This is only for the chosen. So if this don't suit you, that's fine, but it's only for the chosen. Now, check this out. I'm going to explain in terms of the brain and the spinal cord, which is nothing but the sperm cell of your father, which got a body, which got an egg cell. I'm going to explain what happens when you die. Now, what happens actually when you die? What happens? Watch this, guys. When you die, most say you will see this tunnel of light that comes to pay you a visit. Like when you're about to die, you're on the verge of dying. Most say they see this bright light. This is called the light of departure, or this is called the vortex light. That bright light that comes to pay you a visit when in terms of dying. Now that light, because this guy, you can see this guy right here, this guy has died. So what is that light, that bright light, that hole right there? That hole that guy is exiting out, that guy is exiting out is the anus, the butthole, the asshole. Or the mouth. Now listen to me. If you fail in this life existence in terms of being righteous, because this is the God game. We was all created here. All right. And we was all put here to overcome the God game. Life is an illusion. Life is nothing but an illusion. Your life is a lie. You take the F out of life and it's lie, because life is an illusion. It's nothing but an illusion that was created by the subconscious mind. So nothing that you actually see is real here. This is nothing but a holographic universe. I already explained that. All right. So your life is a lie. Okay. That's why they say life is amazing. You ever heard someone say life is amazing? Because life is amazing. It's a maze. It's a maze that you're in. So life is amazing because it's a maze that you're in. This is the matrix. You got to find out how to tap into the oneness, elevate your energy, and get the hell out of here. Because this is the God game, better yet known as hell. So while your Christian church telling you about a hell waiting on you, how about you already in hell? And you got to find a way how to get up. You got to raise your energy, tap into the oneness to get the hell out of here. But whether you pass or whether you fail, you're going to die. In terms of departure, in terms of the end of your existence, you're going to die. Now, whether you fail or whether you pass the God game, it depends. Now, if you fail, like if you fail this existence, let's go back to my book. In terms of dying, if you fail life existence in terms of being unrighteous, the energy will evacuate through the anus and return upwards back to the universe. So basically, here's a brother that didn't succeed in terms of graduating from the God game, this life existence. Life was too hard for this brother. This brother was evil. He was unrighteous. He didn't meet the needs. You see what I'm saying? He didn't fight the good fight of faith. You feel me? He didn't overcome. Maybe he was dealing with alcoholism. Maybe he was dealing with some type of drug problem. Maybe he was dealing with some type of sexual issues. Maybe he had this lustful spirit on him, but he didn't overcome in his existence. So when this brother died, the energy, which in references to the spirit, which is the sperm cell of your father, which inhabits the brain, which is the pineal gland, that energy, it must evacuate. It must evacuate during the time of departure. Now, in terms of this brother, since this brother didn't graduate, he was unrighteous, the energy, he was rejected in terms of the Heavenly Father. His life existence, the energy came out through his anus, the anal exit or rejection. So his energy, which was his father's sperm cell, which inhabit the egg cell of his mother in terms of getting the body, you know what I'm saying? Right here. This guy lived his life in his existence and he didn't prove himself to be righteous. So the sperm cell of his father, which is nothing but the developed brain and spinal cord, which got the body, which is the egg cell. In this guy's existence, he didn't find himself right with God. So when he died in terms of being unrighteous, the sperm, which is the energy, it took an exit through the anus. You see what I'm saying? So if you fail in this life existence, the energy is going to exit out through the anus. This is why when you die, most likely you will have a bowel movement. You see what I'm saying? Or you'll have you might defecate on yourself or urinate on yourself. Now, sometimes when people die, they die with their eyes open. They die with their mouth open like this. So the spirit which is the energy of your father, your ancestors, which got the egg cell, which is the body of a woman, and that egg cell incubated that sperm cell and developed a brain and a spinal column, that must leave eventually. This is what I'm trying to tell you. So if you ain't right in its existence and you find yourself unrighteous, the spirit, the energy will come out through the anus. But if you find yourself righteous, the spirit, or what you call the energy, in reference to the sperm cell of your father, it will come out through the mouth, the oral exit. You see? So if you accept it, if you're a righteous person and you did righteousness on the earth, your spirit will evacuate through the mouth. But if you're a wicked person and you didn't pass the test and you showed yourself to be unrighteous, then the spirit would come out through the anal opening. So it's two primary ways the spirit evacuates. The spirit evacuates through the anus, or the spirit can evacuate orally through the mouth. If you're a righteous person, the spirit will evacuate orally through the mouth. If you are a wicked person, the spirit will evacuate anally. You see? At the base, because the base represents the root chakra. The root chakra is the lowest chakra. So you didn't elevate your energy. You didn't raise the universal consciousness. Dealing with the seven chakra system. You didn't raise your energy high enough. So your energy wasn't high enough to exit it out through the mouth. Because your vibration was so low that the energy had to exit it out anally. The energy had to exit out through the anus because you didn't raise your kundalini. The kundalini just means coil energy. You see what I'm saying? So you didn't raise your kundalini energy up to universal consciousness, which is the crown chakra. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with the seven chakra systems. You didn't elevate high enough. So the spirit couldn't evacuate through the mouth to show itself to be righteous. You stayed within the root chakra, which is the ground chakra. So when you died, the spirit came out through the anus. The same opening that the sperm cell created by puncturing the egg cell of your mother. You see? Real talk, man. Real talk. That's why when you break down, when you go back, let me show you. When you break down mouth, M, and then you have O, U, T, and then you have H on the end. Now, what's between mouth? What's M-O-U-T-H? What's between mouth? Out. Out is between mouth. The word out is between mouth. So if you accept it and you did righteous, the spirit would come out. Now that M represents men. You follow me, guys? That M represents men. That H, what does that represent, guys? What does the H represent? The house. The H represents the house, which is Bodig, which is the body. So mouth, M-O-U-T, out in the middle, and H, which is the house. That's what the spirit inhabits. You see what I'm saying? In terms of the body. But if you accept it, you will come out through the mouth. If you are rejected, you will come out through the anus, man. Your spirit, your spirit gonna come out the body in terms of death. Your spirit gonna evacuate anyway. But when your spirit come out the body, it's coming out two ways. It's coming out rather through the anus or it's coming out through the mouth. This is why you was created with these two openings on your body, because these two openings, one of these openings, the spirit must evacuate in terms of death. If you are a failure in life, the spirit coming out through the anus. If you was a righteous person in life, the spirit coming out through the mouth. The mouth shows elevation, because the mouth is at the dome of the body. The dome of the body is the head. You see what I'm saying? The dome of the body, what is the capstone of the body? The head. The head is the highest place of the body. What's the lowest place of the body? The buttocks, the ass, down below. So if you don't elevate if you don't elevate and come into the oneness, your spirit is not going to elevate through the crown, the kingdom. The kingdom, D-O-M-E, dome, the kingdom. Your spirit is not going to elevate through the mouth if you don't raise your energy and show yourself approved. If you stay at the crown, if you stay at the root chakra, your spirit going to elevate down throughout the anus, man. You see? Back to the universe. So I thought I'd just share that with you guys, man. This is never heard before information. This is once again, this is in my book. Okay? This is in my book called the Spiritual Wisdom of Nobility. Okay, guys, this is a very nice book. I'm writing this book, like I said. I thought about doing an ebook, but I don't know. But I'll let you guys know when this book is finished, man. All right? When this book is finished. So once again, this book is called The Spiritual Wisdom of Nobility, the Godhood Within. You know, Allah, Allah is arm, leg, arm, head. So when you talk about Allah, you talk about the arm, leg, arm, head, which is the human structure, which is the body, man, which is created, you know, by the fertilization of the sperm cell entering into the egg cell of the woman, creating the human body, man. Okay. So guys, I just explained to you how the anus is created. Keith Wilson, you tuned in late, my brother, but I'm glad to see you. You tuned in late, no problem. Keith Wilson, just go back, check out the video, man. You know, basically I was explaining how the anus is created, man. How, what you call the ass hole, the butthole, how that is created. If you don't know how that's created, go back and look at the video. You see? Okay. So Keith Wilson says, give a quick recap. I just tuned in. All right. So, like I said, guys, what creates the butthole of a human being? What creates the butthole of a human being is the sperm cell of the male entity puncturing the egg cell of the female. You see? And so when you die, when you see that bright light, when you die and you see that bright light is one of the openings of the body. That bright light is the spirit coming out the body. And the spirit gonna come out the body, whether it come out through the ass or whether it come out through the mouth. Your spirit comes out the body, whether it comes out through the ass or whether it comes out through the mouth. If you are unrighteous, if you didn't show yourself approved of God, the spirit evacuates through the ass, which is the anus. If you showed yourself approved of God, the spirit evacuates through the mouth, which is universal consciousness. So when you see that tunnel of light in terms of death, and you're about to give up the ghost, and you see that light come for you, that means that light is one of the openings of the body, whether it's the ass or the mouth, that your spirit would go back to the universal creator. Check out the video, guys, if you tuned in late. Peace. Much love and wisdom. Share the video, guys. See you in the next one.